What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And as you can see, I got my guy Nick on the screen again. What's good, baby? How's everything with you?
I'm all right. I'm chilling.
I feel it. You know, he's a Bulls fan, right? Sports advocate, but he's also my stats guy. So we'll talk a little stats, but we'll also talk a little hoops. You know what I'm saying? It's called Get a Bucket, right? But we're going to stop him and hawing and get right on into the show. You about ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, bet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Listen, the NBA season. It's been kind of interesting. What's been your biggest surprise thus far?
For me, it's been how good the Cavs are. I mean, obviously, we expected them to be hopefully in that middle to top half of that Eastern Conference in terms of seeding, but 15-0, I'm sure nobody would have predicted, good old 15-1 start so far. And Evan Mobley has really been playing well. They've been using him, bringing him the ball up, and sort of starting the offense has really kickstarted what was a average to below average group last year, and turned them into a top 10, top 5, I forget where they are in terms of offensive rating, but they are really high up there. And for a team that already was doing really well defensively, for that now, Darius Garland is also playing really well, back from all those injuries. Bless the knees, bless the feet. Darius Garland playing well. Evan Mobley, finally starting to show some of those signs that we were promised, coming out of USC.
Okay.
Cavaliers have been incredible.
Okay. I can respect that. My only thing, though, is, so I like the potential of the Cavs. People were talking about how the Cavs are trash last year outside of Donovan Mitchell. And I'm like, not necessarily. Jared Allen went down in the playoffs. It was a little tough. So for me, again, top of the league. I mean, it's early. The Jazz were up there at one point in time and then fell off. So I'd like to see how they're going, but they're definitely a big surprise too. I can't hold you. I can't even refute them not being the biggest surprise. Arguably, the 76ers being 2-12. Oh. Yeah, it's 2-12. Damn. Like, that's tough, bro. Like, and again, Joel Embiid goes out. Paul George goes out twice. Like, he gets injured twice. Tyrese Maxey goes out. Like, shout out to my guy Jared McCain, though. You know what I'm saying? Good stock, like I told y'all. And I also told y'all, too, let the boy hoop and stop worrying about his fingernail polish. It's very important that y'all care about production. That's what matters. Also, let him live his life. But that is a big surprise. Also, the Warriors. Like, they at the top of the West. I don't think a lot of people had the Warriors at the top of the West. Hell, I don't even know they had them at the top of our division. Like, that was going to be tough. I don't think I did. But there's a few surprises this NBA season thus far. So it's been pretty interesting. I gotta sneak this one in there, I guess. Because again, my stats guy. Mm-hmm. Some teams have taken a little slight dip.
Just a few.
But apparently it's the former MVPs. Like Giannis's team, they 9th in the East. Again, it's early, ladies and gentlemen. It's early. But they 9th. Now the Nuggets, they are 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Best case 5th. 5th. Shout out to the Nuggets. That's a little dip, though, because, dang, weren't they kind of just champions and then doing all right? Like, I thought they were doing pretty well. So 5th it's not bad, but we could have higher expectations. And then, of course, the 76ers, bottom of the league, damn near.
I think they actually do have
bottom
worse.
of the league.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough. So, and I say damn near because, again, they are tied. but they
Right.
still at the bottom.
Right.
That's a little regression for me. Do you think now that that's a saying that there's about to be a new power shift? Because the Celtics look good. Shout out Jason Tatum. Good stock. OKC look good. Shea and them. Even the Magic, when Paolo was playing, was looking all right. Like, I don't know, there's some young guns out there.
I mean, I think the Magic, not to date the episode or anything, but the Magic looked pretty good yesterday too.
We ain't got to talk about that. Shout out Franz Wagner. We ain't got to talk about that. We ain't got to talk about that against my boys. I hate this man. Oh, my God.
I mean, there's definitely we're definitely in the middle of what I think is a changing of the guard. We were talking about, not to bring up too much off-camera discussion, but we were talking about how, Kevin Durant and guys like that, Steph Curry, they're both in their mid-30s now. LeBron's in his 50s, 60s. I don't know what he is now. But I've lost track. Even Embiid, the MVP not too long ago, he's 31.
30. Yeah, 30. Like by the time he gets to by the time we get to the next Olympics, he'll be 35. Like Anthony
That'll also
Davis
probably
will
be when he next gets
36.
healthy. Like we're seeing a change in the guard. I will give you full props. You called this last year with the Thunder, saying they're gonna get there faster than I anticipated, anybody anticipated. We were like, oh, this team's going to be pretty good once those draft picks all come in. They're good now, and they still have all those draft picks on the way. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a change in the guard. The Mavs are also like they were in the NBA Finals last year.
Yeah, but they don't got an MVP that's regressing though. That's the thing.
No, for sure. But that's what I'm saying. Like changing of the guard. Maybe got Giannis's team, the Bucks, or
Luka young, but he came in at an early age. I'm talking about professionals. Yeah. So yeah, he is a little up there too, body wise, like age wise. I feel you on that. So yeah, it does seem like that new wave of era is coming now.
Jason Tatum's still 19 years old.
That is crazy. They keep running with that. Oh my gosh, that's funny. But no, it's so interesting because again, I think a lot of people expect even my Lakers. We expect us to dominate, but I think people still look at Bron like, oh, you got to lead. No, I'm thinking Anthony Davis got to lead, man, because now we gotta usher in a new era, right? Like at some point in time, even OKC, they're gonna have to usher in a new era with Chet, because Shea's going to hit like 31 at some point in time. So let's say he stays on the squad, and let's say Chet stays on the squad. Somebody, age-wise, Chet will be closer to his prime. So you got to run it through Chet. So eventually you got to...
And pay-wise. Like, can't pay
I think Shea will still have a solid pay.
No, for sure. I'm just saying, like, you're going to have to make some tough decisions a few years from now.
Maybe well, I think they keep their big three, at least point in time right now, Jalen Williams, Chet, and Shea. And then after that, they figure everything else around that. But again, everybody got to evolve and grow. No more. No. Dort can stay. He's got to take less pay. Yeah, that's all. Because then if that, you know what I'm saying, if you're trying to win a championship and have fun,
well, listen, you leave $15 million on the table. Like, because he might.
I mean, he can go elsewhere. He can go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's another discussion. Okay. All right. I got y'all. I heard. Y'all heard the buzzer. Ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna stay scripted. We're gonna stay structured. Not scripted. This is live TV today. But when we come back, I guess we have more sports to talk about. But for now, let y'all tune into the commercial break real quick. So we'll be right back.
Smile Services DC was started with the idea of making a difference. Dr. Albert Coombs III and Dr. Kevin Granger chose to practice healthcare for its ability to impact the overall mental and physical health of our community. Diabetes, high blood pressure, GI, and other systematic diseases are common within the African American community and are often worsened by poor oral health. We guarantee that when you walk through our door, we will treat you not as a patient, but as family. From the seats you sit in to the warmth of our staff, we provide an intimate environment that offers our community a place to come and feel welcome. We chose our location, staff, and work environment to serve our community. So it's important that we offer a much-needed practice that's reliable and highly qualified, with a clean and safe environment that everyone can have access to. This is why we accept the most health insurances and offer affordable rates for services not covered. At Smile Services DC, we strengthen our community by offering services that help not only with the overall physical health of our patients, but their confidence too. When you have your big job interview, wedding day, graduation, you want to feel happy and confident, and Smile Services DC can help with that. So come on down and have a healthy smile with your family.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Listen, Nick, NBA season, right? Sometimes I feel like, you know what? If I didn't have the sports show, would I be watching it as much? Like, does the in-season tournament really draw me in? And it don't. So I wanted to ask you personally, how do you like the in-season tournament? Like, from an entertainment perspective, is it captivating you? Is it making you want to watch NBA, buy NBA League Pass, all that good stuff? Like, what's your thoughts?
Well, maybe not buy NBA League Pass. Maybe I like money a little bit too much for that. But one of the things I like about the in-season tournament is that, especially nowadays and early on in the season, games 10 through 20, 25, you get those players who are established in the league. They've been doing this for 7, 8 years, and the fact of the matter is they know it's a marathon. They know that the games that matter are not yet. So the in-season tournament, I think, has done a very good job of making those players kick it up, not all the way to maximum overdrive or anything like that, but one gear. And if you can make game 20 matter to somebody, and you can get them to, maybe it's not playoff basketball, but it's not, you don't go to sleep, during the game.
It's added level of competition.
Have a little bit of competition. I think that's for the best. Last year we saw this, but we kind of wanted to hedge our bets a little bit. We didn't want to get too excited. We wanted to go, okay, this is the first year.
Right.
Anytime there's a first year of anything, it's successful because it's new. So we want to, we get people newly excited because, ooh, new thing. But let's see
what happens
as
time goes on.
Time goes on. And so far, you're still seeing that competition. It's not as fiery as last year, but it's still kicking that up that one gear. So yeah, I think it's made early season basketball worth watching, even if that, unfortunately, that's not what some people want to talk about.
Okay.
So
see, I ain't gonna lie. There was one day, and I have NBA League Pass, right?
Right.
So I can actually rewind, spin the block back, and watch these games. So it's not a problem if I miss a game.
Right.
But I definitely had the option to choose either watch basketball games or just watch some TV shows. And I ended up watching NCIS, Lucifer, and all them. Like, I did not pay attention to NBA that day. I'm like, you know what? And I saw, like, one of the days was the in-season game. I'm like, you know what? I really don't care as much. I don't. Like, it's not that appealing. Granted, let's look at last year, right? The Pacers, they did get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Tip of the cap to them, right?
Right.
I'm not that appealing. Like, I didn't. That was because of injuries for me. Like, if I'm being honest. Like, when I look at the Commissioner Cup for the WNBA, I think that holds more value to the season than I do the in-season tournament. Like, for whatever reason, that matters more to me. And also, the trend seems a little bit better. Whoever wins the Commissioner Cup apparently loses in the finals, but hey, they get to the finals though. Like this, and those teams actually, it's logical why they got there. Like, it seems like it matters more. We saw the Aces in the championship. We saw the Liberty in the championship. Okay, cool. So these teams actually seem like they matter, and I'm not getting that with the in-season tournament. So I'll be curious to see what happens at the end of the season, like, and going forward too, because you said that it lost a little. It's not as fiery, so it lost a little edge.
Ooh. A little.
That's tough.
With the WNBA, I think it's also much more indicative of future success because the season is shorter. So it's not as much of a concentrate. Like, players aren't as much concentrating on the fact that they've got, if they want to make it to the NBA Finals and win the NBA Finals, they got to play upwards of 100 games in a year. So you don't have that lingering in the back of the mind. Now, 1 year of like I said, of this in-season tournament does not a sample size make. Neither does 2 years. We have to see what this is like.
So what's a fair amount of years to give it for you?
I want, if this is successful for 5 years, I think that's going to be great. I know that's a long time.
And successful meaning that
it keeps the competition level still higher than it used to be.
Okay.
Then that will be worth it.
In recent years.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. I'll have to think about what I would deem as it being successful, because I don't want to just limit it to like ratings, even though it does matter. Ratings definitely do matter.
Definitely matter.
But like competition matters. But like actual value, like what is this ultimately doing for the game? Like is it really adding a value to it? Because if this isn't, I'd like to find something else to do than just this. Because now we're just wasting time. So, but if it is adding value, I'm not mad at you on that. I just think the Commissioner Cup's better, just a little bit. But I'm curious what y'all all decide actually about this here topic, because it's kind of an entertaining one. Because again, the trend has been it's been 2 years. And it's been kind of consistent so far. Again, the Commissioner Cup champ loses in the finals. And the team that loses in the Commissioner Cup championship wins the whole thing. So, I mean, that seems pretty solid to me. But to your point, let's give it more time, because if the NBA starts doing that too.
If that trend does continue in the WNBA, if that trend continues, we might have to have an investigation there.
That's script right.
That'll be a little.
That's funny. All right, so hey, WNBA, don't have your teams repeating too much.
Where's Eric Bischoff right now? Is he in the back? Like what?
But ladies and gentlemen, oh, y'all heard the buzzer go off. What we're going to do is take a little quick hiatus like I think the in-season tournament should do. But we're going to pay some bills like the in-season tournament should be doing. So we'll come back after a moment from our sponsors. Hair Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Listen, we're here at a nice little segment, right? I want to talk to you about the NBA Rookie of the Years, but I wanted to get your take on it, just your personal opinion, and then we also are going to look at stats and see how you feel, because again, he loved himself some stats. You know what I'm saying? Like fish got to swim, birds got to fly, Nick got to follow some stats. So let's see what happens. But curious. Point in time, who's your Rookie of the Year leader?
So, I think Rookie of the Year leader, I think one of the things that people worried about after Steven Adams kept getting hurt and then departed from the Grizzlies was who's going to be that traditional big next to Jaren Jackson Jr., who we've learned is probably better off in that 4 spot with a traditional big next to him. And people looked at Zach Edey coming into the draft, and they're like, this guy's a dinosaur. He would have been, he's a George Murray's son, Sean Bradley. He's going to get killed in the pick and roll. He's not going to space the floor for you. He's an artifact. So he comes in the league, and I think he's leading. This is where the stats come in.
I ain't trying to cut you off, but to be clear, because I was just asking for an answer.
Yeah.
See, and you switching up on me too, ladies and gentlemen, because off camera he said something else. So to be clear, who's your leading candidate right now?
I think it's Zach Edey right now.
Okay, all right. So Zach Edey's yours.
He's leading the all rookies, I think, in win shares for 48.
I hear you. So for me, I go Jared McCain.
I wonder why.
Well, it has nothing to do with where he come from. Although he do come from good stock, ladies and gentlemen. You did kind of share some light, I guess, a little bit as to like why you like Zach Edey. He stepped into the role of Steven Adams. He's been thriving. You say he's leading in win shares or per 48. Although I don't care about the per 48 because there's no guarantee they're gonna be playing the exact same way for 48 minutes. So I understand the projection. Yeah, I don't put that much stock into it, but I hear you though. Yeah. For me, when I look at Jared, it just came down to again. PG goes out, Embiid goes out, Maxey goes out. They ain't really been winning that much, but he's been the bright spot of the team.
Yes.
Like the bright spot. He's been carrying the load on the shoulders, and respectfully, that's a rookie on this veteran team. So it's like I can't put the blame of them losing on him at all. I can't.
He's definitely been the silver lining of that team this year.
Exactly. And on an injured squad, that's kind of like a saving grace. Now, let's say everybody was healthy and he was still doing this. All right, that might be an interesting discussion.
Right.
But for right now, again, point in time, I'm looking at Jared McCain. Also, he's scoring pretty well, 16 a game right now. 47, 40, 80 split? No, 100. My bad. He ain't missed not a free throw.
Don't say that. If he misses a free throw in the next game, I'm gonna
Yeah, say 100.
You're gonna be
like that's
what
I'm telling. Point in time, right now. I'm just listing off what happened. Don't shoot the messenger.
He better not miss his next free throw. He better not miss his next free throw.
But again, no, those are tough because again, now let's talk about stats now because again, that's what I saw, right? But then we talk about stats. I listed off Jared McCain. 16, 2-2, defensively, 0.5 steals, no blocks, 47, 40, 100 splits, right? Dalton Connect on my Lakers, so y'all can tell I ain't biased. He's been connecting quite well because he's been doing 52, 46, 92 splits.
That means 3 the other day.
That means 52% from the field, 46% from the three-point line, 92% from the free throw line. Like
take that. You take
like
that.
52 from the field, 46 from the three, and 92 from the 3-point line. I mean, from the free throw line is crazy. But all right, cool. Zachary Ricochet.
Yeah.
12, 4-1. Now his efficiency is not up to Dalton and Jared, right? Carlton Carrington, Bub, as they call him, 10, 4, and 5. 42, 39, 80 splits. Like those are pretty solid. Zach Edey, 11.7 rebounds, 1 assist. And again, like the defensive end too, Zachary Ricochet is at 0.9, 0.8. Carlton Bub is at 1.2, 0.3. Zach Edey is at 0.9 and 0.9 steals, 1 block. Stephon Castle, who I like, him, I ain't gonna hold you. It's just his efficiency. Like that would be the main thing. Like there's a couple of good players up here in this rookie class.
Well, what's Castle shooting from 3?
28%. That's why I said the efficiency.
Okay.
Like, and then from the field goal line, from the field goal percentage, 39. Now, what's helpful for me is he's shooting 72 from the free throw.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, that at least shows it's not his mechanics. So it's just over time he'll get better.
And I think he had a bad stretch as well, which might, with the small sample size. But Stephon Castle came into the league. His big issue was going to be 3-point shooting. Sure. And I think he started the year shooting pretty well from 3, which is encouraging. So, Castle was my number 2 guy to mention because he's been incredibly impressive. He walked in, it's like, okay, he's going to give you a hustle, but maybe he won't give you much in terms of material, stats. He'll play his heart out on defense. He'll go get the hustle balls like he did at UConn. But he's been playing much better than I expected him to play in the first few games of his career. And if Castle continues to develop like that with Wemby,
that could be an interesting take. Yeah, no, that could be an interesting team. Like, and I felt the same way. I think I forget who I told that to. I think it might have been Chris. But no, I agree with you. But like off the stats, do you change your answer on the Rookie of the Year any?
I think I would still give it to Edey. I think as unfair as it might be, he's also going to get a bump if Memphis continues to play well.
What if 76ers improve?
Then definitely McCain should be in that conversation. But I think
so. You value team success and Rookie of the Year play?
No, I'm not saying I do. I'm saying that people will. I'm putting Zach Edey up there for different reasons.
Okay. All right. Cool. So then, let me ask you this then, because you love your big men.
What?
You love your big men, like you love your centers.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Alex Sarr, Washington Wizards. Statistically, if we don't focus on efficiency, right? He's given 10.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.8 steals, 2.1 blocks. Now, when we're talking about, again, statistically, that's arguably the best stat line that I've read off today. But then when we get to efficiency, 35, 20, and then 70.
What was he shooting from the field?
35% from the field, 20% from 3, and then 70% from the free throw. Now, my thing is this though: you can build around that though. You can improve that. Because again, the free throw line, cool. That shows a little promise. Also, the 2.1 blocks and the 0.8 steals, that does help out.
Definitely.
The -2 win shares was a little bit interesting. The negative 0.2 win shares.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That was a little bit interesting because again, I'm looking at everybody else. Even Stephon Castle, his field goal percentage was 39. His 3-point percentage was 28. He got 0.3. Like, dang. I would at least think the 2.1 blocks help him up. Like, for me, I don't know. That seemed a little weird. Like, do you think Alex Sarr is as bad as his win shares projects him to be? Or at least
I'm certainly not panicking. But when you're 7'1" and you're shooting 30, like in the 30s from the field, if that first number is a 3.
Well, because Valanciunas is there, so Valley might be on the block a little too. Like he might not be on the block at times. So I'm not trying to excuse him as much. I'm just saying he's young. It's his rookie year. Like as he gets older, bigs take about 5 years to develop.
Exactly. Not gonna panic, but woof. That's probably why his win shares are low.
Okay, so that's
because
not
when he's on the floor, their offense is probably not as good because they do go to Valanciunas, and Valanciunas is obviously older, more experienced, and better offensive
more
big.
professional, yeah.
So that probably kills his win shares,
right?
Especially if they alternate him and Valanciunas as the center.
And his minutes aren't as high too. I think he's getting about 25 a game.
Yeah.
And again, that's 2.1 blocks in 25 minutes.
So I'm not going to panic. I do like the 2.1 blocks per game. You said 20.
He's in that 20 range. The last time I checked.
And 2.1 block. Listen, this is what we said before the draft was Sarr was going to come in. He's underdeveloped offensively, but he's really good defensively. He's long. He's athletic. He's I think I called him something like Wembanyama 0. Like,
that's crazy.
In terms of just the broad strokes of his draft profile. So this is not completely off of where I predicted he would be.
Okay.
And in all fairness, even Wembanyama started off really slow. So to start the year, I think he was also in the 30s field goal percentage somewhere, or maybe low 40s.
We'll have to revisit that. I got to look back and check that.
Yeah.
So it's not. So you're not giving up on Sarr.
No.
Let me ask you this then before we leave. Then, do you believe he can still win Rookie of the Year?
He better get to working if he wants to.
But do you believe he can though? Like, do you feel like he can personally?
I would not put any amount of money on that.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I don't know. Like, it seems like there's an outside shot, but also they're trying to figure some things out in the Wizards. So I'm like you. I wouldn't put money on it, but still, to me, there seems like there's a world, but it's also diminishing. Like, I'm optimistic as hell. Y'all know that. Like, y'all know I love to have a little optimism, but. Sarr, I wish you the best. Right, Alex? Sorry. I'm not going to. Oh, that could work. Sorry. Like that. Holla at me, bro. I got you. Holla at me, bro. I got you. I promise you, I got you. That's a sorry. That's a good one. Sorry. Ooh, that's a nice little one right there. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what we gonna do is, of course, take a quick little hiatus. I'm gonna pay some bills. Come right back though. We'll talk a little bit more hoops. So we'll be right back after a moment from these sponsors. I don't like that smile.
Sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. Whether with coworkers, friends, family, we all love the entertainment. Well, here on Get a Bucket, my goal is to talk about sports and its cultural impact. The WNBA, for example. The WNBA is loads of entertainment. From the new rookies battling, displaying their skill sets, and preparing to take the league by storm, to the titans and the MVPs of the league clashing for battles we'll always remember. From imagining the soon-to-be possibilities, to admiring and treasuring the finales. Get a Bucket is a platform where other sports analysts, hoopers, coaches, and fans of the show come and talk about the WNBA, both negatives and positives. So if you haven't, take a quick peek. At the very least, you'll have a good time. Remember, sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. So please, tune in and stay connected.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Nick, all right, so I got a basketball, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a professional. Oh, God. See it clearly. You mean you got to call spade a spade. But I got a show, though. It's not a podcast specifically. It's a show, all right? It's Get a Bucket show. We on Wilder Entertainment Network. I say all that because obviously I'm not in the NBA. And I think it's okay that I have a show or a podcast or whatever y'all want to call it, right? But it's a show still. Do you think active NBA players should have a show or podcast during the season? What's your takes on that?
Bit of a cop-out, but I think it depends on the player. I think if you can depend on that player to continue to bring, to compete at a high level every night, and it won't cause them to suffer any sort of consequences on the floor, fine. I would also much rather my player, especially my star player, have a podcast than be doing whatever it is NBA stars do during the nightlife. Like, I'd rather them be recording.
I'd rather them actually just be practicing or
that's for
resting
sure.
up or working on their body or working on the nutrition. Because here's the thing, you could be studying film and you can be talking with your teammates about hoops. You don't have to talk about hoops on a podcast, especially if we not winning. See, like, we off air, I did ask him, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let's use, because he's a Bulls fan, let's use Jordan as an example, right? Let's say Jordan only won like 3 championships. Jordan only gets 3 championships, but decides to get a podcast. How long you gonna want to listen to Jordan talk? Like, I'm not gonna want to listen to talk too much longer if we keep losing. Like, after like 3 seasons, okay. Like, maybe we might want to stop the podcast, maybe. Or after that 4th season, hey, bro, appreciate you, but like, definitely let's chill out on the podcast. That 5th season, you cut it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little tough because it's also viewed as a distraction. So
It certainly can be.
and that's why I'm questioning if players, like even someone as good as Draymond Green, Hall of Fame players, should he have a podcast? Paul George, should he have a podcast? And he hasn't won anything. And I'm actually curious, what do you think about that?
I mean, especially for a guy like Draymond, I'm not worried about Draymond falling off because what he gives, he's not going to lose track of that.
Okay.
Draymond, he plays like if he doesn't, he still is an incredible defender. He still goes out there and gives incredible effort, as if he's not, multiple-time All-NBA guy, multiple-time champion. But you're right, for a guy like Paul George, you don't have basically the social capital or the capital with fans or with an organization to do that. You seem to be, and I don't like to speak poorly of Paul George because I think enough people do that already. Like, right. But you're right. You don't have a championship. In fact, you can't even be dependent on anymore to perform in the playoffs, as much as that hurts for me to say. So why are we making a podcast? And I love Paul George's podcast too.
It's
So
cool.
fan,
It's good. It's a good one.
Fan,
It's a good one.
As a fan, it hurts me, but
Yeah.
like to say that, because I like listening to Paul George talk about the game and dissect games and scouting
Right.
reports and things like that. But you can't then just go out there and put up 20 points on 35% shooting in the playoffs. Your team needs better than that, or not even be out there.
Like, it comes off like a lack of focus.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying, Paul, listen, if you're listening, one, appreciate you. Two, I'm not saying, bro, don't stop doing what you want to do, right? I hope everybody in life does what they want to do to a degree. But, like, you still, like, this is the conversation that people are going to have for you if you don't produce, but still have the podcast, still have all these extracurriculars outside of hoops, which as humans we should. Because like later on when you retire, you're not gonna hoop no more. So what else do you need to do? Have something outside of the game of basketball.
Exactly.
So I definitely get you having that prep work. I definitely get you having your passions outside of the game. But when you don't win, it's going to be viewed as a lack of focus and not, oh, he's trying to make himself
And
better.
if Paul George is happy with that lot and happy with that, then absolutely. I don't, like, he should not have to sacrifice just because some fans are unhappy what he wants to do, like you said. If he's one of the best examples is Shaquille O'Neal. Like, could he have sort of put himself to the grindstone, maybe not gone out and DJ'd and partied and all these other things? Sure, he would have been having a lot less fun, though. And he's still, like, he's the kid who went out and partied every night in college and still graduated with a 3.6 GPA.
Now, see,
Like-
I'm a little biased with this one, though, because I felt like Shaq could have worked out a little bit more and got a
Sure,
couple chips.
absolutely.
Yeah, like, hey, you talking to a Laker fan right now, dog.
Yeah,
I don't know what to
absolutely,
tell you, Shaq. And I
absolutely.
appreciate you on them three. I'm
And
just
he's
saying,
still a
brother, you
top
could have got a
15,
couple more.
like, he's still a
Nah, he's
consensus
still
top 15 guy.
Yeah. No, he's
So
still up there.
if you're happy with that, then and I think you should be, then great. He went out there and had the best time of his life. Is basically completing side quests at this point.
And is still having a good
and
career.
is still an incredible player. If Paul George is happy being the kind of player that he was, I think he's gotten All-NBA like 5 times, 4 times, something like that, and having that legacy amongst fans whose opinions, don't matter, shouldn't matter, then absolutely keep doing that. But you have to accept that as well.
And that's what I was going to say, too. It's okay if he goes this route, but like when people are talking about, I don't want to hear, oh, well, the fans need to stop talking about it. Because again, you have that platform to do so, and I don't want to hear the hypocrisy. I don't want to hear that. So like, if you want to keep the platform, that's great, fine, and dandy. Same with, and I keep it fair across the board too, same with Angel Reese. I love you got your platform out there. But at the same time, if your game slip, oh, you know folks is going to try to get after you. Because they was doing that when you were actually dominant. So imagine what they're going to do when you slip a little bit. So that's my only thing. It's the perception. Like J.J. Redick and Braun, they quit there. Or they stopped their podcast. They didn't do it during the season. And I think now the perception, like let's say my Lakers win the championship this year. And the 76ers do what they are currently doing right now. The perception might be, we're more about business, y'all more about play, which is cool. But when you get these big ass contracts, that's where the frustration goes, which now when I say, oh, maybe we should lessen the contracts, that'll start generating more legs of that conversation because, oh, well, we're giving you this much. And I mean, you got a podcast, but you ain't putting as much effort into the game. That's where all this, especially if folks stop their show
The big
to win a
concern,
championship.
that is something, it's a good note. Something that should be a concern is, can the owners use this as leverage to acquire non-guaranteed contracts again?
I think
and if that happens, that's a disaster for the players' union. Absolute disaster.
I think you should have a conversation with people and let them know, look, as a professional, we're business. Like, shout out Pat Riley, but they were successful because they're about business. They have a culture there that is at least successful. Not everybody can do that, and they don't win championships all the time, but they at least are successful. They get to the finals sometimes when we don't expect it.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a good balance. Like you should be able to have a hobby outside, but I will say, using someone like Kobe, using someone like Jordan, like you said earlier, it'd be questionable if Jordan would have a podcast or a show. It'd be questionable if Kobe had a podcast or a show during the season, unless they pre-recorded and then dropped it off during the season. But that's how I think they do it during the season. But again, I ain't trying to knock y'all hustle. I'm just saying that's the perception that's going to be, and it's going to be bad if other teams stop their shows and win, and you can't get one. That's all I'm saying. So, but I mean, y'all heard the buzzer, ladies and gentlemen. So we gonna, I guess, close up shop just like that. But Nick, I greatly appreciate your time, man. That was a good episode. That was a good little segment. That I appreciate you. Do you have anything you want to say before we close up shop?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy to do this. And like and subscribe.
Y'all heard him. He's a smart man. Like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.